Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
So we're going to fit a radiator onto this wall, and the radiator we've got is 120 millimeters, and it's a double radiator. So what we know is that this is plasterboard, plastered over, and it's on battens. We know there's a batten right there, which is supporting this piece of plasterboard, and we know there's a batten right to the side of this, and there's another one there. This one comes down here, so if we use our level, we can work out exactly where the inside of that batten goes, and it just comes down to here. I've already marked this off. So the batten's 50 millimeters wide, so we know that at that point there we have a batten. And we also know that level with this, just down here, and to 50 millimeters that side, we'll also have a batten. So we're able to fasten our brackets for our radiator in that space there and in this space here. Okay, so what we're doing is we've put the brackets on for the radiator. The radiator's over here. It's a 120 millimeter long radiator, double one. We're just painting the wall behind it because once you mount the radiator, it's difficult or impossible to get behind and paint. And I don't know if you ever looked behind a radiator and noticed that it's either a different colour or it hasn't been painted at all. But anyway, the other thing is we're going to be bringing the pipes up the wall and then across to join those pipes there. So I'm just painting the wall there as well, so behind the pipes is painted, and then that way we won't get a mess going onto the pipes when we try and paint later. So that's where we're at the moment, and then later on in a few minutes time, or once this is dried, we'll be putting the radiator on. Okay, so we're going to fit the radiator onto this wall. We've mounted the brackets and we're just going to lift it straight on, sit it on, and then we'll be able to work out where the pipework's going to go. You want to go right to your edge, Tez. What do you mean? Just one second. No, just got to lift the blanket up. There you go. Okay, so we've lifted the radiator onto the brackets and it's just sat now on the wall. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect up the valve on each side, each end of the radiator, and then we're going to work out which way the pipes run, and we're going to put the pipes in. So the radiator comes with blanking plugs in, and we're just going to replace those with the bleed screw and the blanking plug for the other end that come with the radiator. Dead straightforward. So we're putting the bleed screw in this end. And then in the other end, we put the blanking plug. Done. Okay, so we've got the radiator on. And we've just put the fittings in. Now these are just compression fittings. So that's connected in, and the thermostatic valve will sit on top of that. We'll show you that one later. But what we want to do now is start running the pipes back towards where our circuit is, our pipe circuit is, and we can connect into those. So the first thing we want to do is come down from this outlet, or from this inlet, because this will be the inlet, from there, and we want to get to the wall. So what we've done is just to drop it out the way, I've cut a piece of pipe that will compress on this compression fitting, will tighten into there. And then I've got an elbow and it's a Yorkshire fitting. Well, it's a solder ring, it's called. It's one of the do-it-yourself fittings. It's got a ring of solder inside, and that will connect on. And then I've cut a small piece of pipe to take us to the wall, which will connect there, and then another elbow which will take the pipe that way, and it will be this piece of pipe that runs under the radiator, and that will take us to the wall close enough for us to use these fittings. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is solder all the pipes together, and then we'll just fit it and connect it in. And the way I want to do it is use a little bit of wire wool and just remove any oxide from the pipe. And you can see how the pipe shines up when you take any of the oxide off. Then each of the fittings I want to do exactly the same. Just clean out any oxide that might be just hanging around inside. Okay, so once that's done, what I'm going to do is add a little bit of flux to each of these bits. Just add a little bit of flux there, then put a little bit on the inside of that elbow on both sides, and the flux will just help the solder to flow when we melt it. A little bit of flux on the end of there, a little bit more, a little bit of flux, a little bit on the end, and just keep repeating that just to make sure that we've got flux on every joint. Okay, so if we solder that into place just the way it is, that'll be absolutely fine to fit onto the radiator. So I'm using a torch, little pliers here just to make sure everything stays where I want it. Let's get it going. And then we look at the bottom, see it's all done. Okay, we're going to fasten the pipes on with these clips, and they're double hinged clips, so two pipes will run side by side, and these clips have got a little lug at the bottom, and that little lug is so that we can clip a cover over the top, so there's no boxing in to be done. There'll be a nice neat plastic cover hiding all our pipe work, and it'll be really good. So I'll just fasten this one underneath the radiator now, and then I'll show you how we fasten the cover on once we finish the pipe work. And there we go, nice and tight. Okay.
So we've got the pipes going from the radiator now, and they're going up the wall, all clipped in nicely. So we just need a pipe to go up to the top next to the ceiling, then along the wall, and then to connect to our pipes that are coming from the system. So here's the pipe. Just connect it up while it's on the floor, and then we can lift it into place and fix it. Okay, so we've just finished off the pipe work, and you can see there we're using a small asbestos blanket. I think it's asbestos. Small fireproof blanket to protect the other pipes, and I think that's us done. So next, what we've got is these clips. These, if you look at the back of them, when they clip shut, there's a little lug there, and our cover will clip on and clip over those. So we'll do that in a minute, and we'll show you how we do that. But that's the pipe work done to the radiator. Next, we'll turn the water on and see how we get on. So the next thing we're going to do is box the pipes in, and we're going to use this this pipe cover. It's Talon, and what it's got is it's got these two ridges on the inside which clip onto the double pipe clips here. So that'll just snap straight on over the top, and you clip it in, and it'll be solid. So first thing I'm going to do then is quickly measure the length that we need, then cut it off, and then I'll snap that in place, and then we'll put the corners on, and you'll see how that's done. Quickly measure. Just going to go from that corner to there, which is 211 centimeters, and then we'll quickly mark that up. I'll just step into the light of the back door, quickly mark that. Cut it to length using the garden chair as a suitable rest. It's at times like this that you wish the other person didn't have to hold the camera. So this just clips straight on, and we'll peel the paper off in a minute. Clips on and then snaps into place. Just like that, absolutely rock solid. There we go. So another one just down here. There we go, that's absolutely solid. So what we do now is peel the paper off, and then we fit the corners using the tape provided, double-sided tape, and that will be absolutely perfect. We'll do that once we get the paper off. So with that now firmly in place, we get the corner, and we just peel back some of that paper, get the corner, and just fit it in place like that. And it looks absolutely perfect. Look at that, we peel that off. Once upon a time, people would have been cutting strips of wood and cardboard and boxing them in, but that looks absolutely perfect like that. Yeah, very good. Okay. And just clip the last piece into place. pipework fully boxed in. And this is the valve that we've put on. It's a thermostatic valve, and all it is there's a plug with a small pipe that screws straight into the bottom of the radiator there with a little bit of PTFE tape wrapped around the thread to make sure it seals. That tightens in, and then this valve mounts straight onto the pipework that you saw us put in, and it just tightens up. There's a small olive inside which compresses, a compression fitting, which just tightens up onto the pipe. Then it tightens up onto the little pipe sticking out the radiator, and it's as simple as that. So it's just screw the pipe in, and then you put the valve onto your pipework, and then connect it up with a couple of nuts. Very, very straightforward. Same at the other end with the other valve, and that's all the pipework done now. That's the radiator in, and you've seen how we put the box on here. So that's it. Our extension has now got its own heating, it's got its own lighting. So next we'll be finishing off the plastering, and we'll be connecting up the sockets.